You're watching Let the Qur'an Speak, and now we answer your questions. If you have a question, visit our website, QuranSpeaks.com. Dr. Shabir, the question is, I am a recent convert to Islam, residing in America, and I struggle explaining my decision to my Christian friends and family. Our conversations often seem to result in frivolous, hostile debate rather than fruitful discussion. It seems that Christian-Muslim relations remain stuck in the Crusades, and that both sides view the other as a threat instead of a neighbor. How can I effectively build bridges between my local Muslim and Christian community? That's a tough situation.
Yeah, it's a very insightful question as well, because it's looking forward to how can we do better than this? And certainly we need to do better. We need to stress the commonalities between Islam and Christianity, and we have so much in common. We believe in the same one God. We believe that God has revealed messages to prophets and messengers over time. We Muslims, as well as Christians, accept in principle all of the prophets of the Hebrew Bible. Muslims accept Jesus as the prophet and messenger of God, God's Messiah. And outside of Christianity, there isn't another religion that holds Jesus in such high esteem. Jesus is mentioned in the Quran by name 25 times. His mother is mentioned by name 36 times in the Quran. Every mention of Jesus and Mary in the Quran is a respectable mention, showing them to be very important persons in the history of God's revelation to humankind. Jesus is shown to have performed many miraculous deeds, healing the blind, curing the leper, raising the dead back to life. God rescued him from his enemies, raised him to himself. Muslims even believe by interpreting certain verses of the Quran that Jesus will come back another time towards the end of time. So a hope that Christians have as well. Mary is spoken about in a very honorable way. God says, that he addressed Mary in Allah astafaki wa taharaki wa astafaki ala nisa'il alamin. The angels say that God has chosen Mary and preferred her above all the women of the world. The way Mary is spoken about in the Quran led some Muslim commentators to think that Mary is a prophet, along with the male prophets that are mentioned in the Quran. So there are, of course, people of another faith who may even belittle Jesus. They have rejected him. Some, in his own time, even plotted to get him executed. And eventually the Gospels say that he was crucified under the aegis of the Roman authorities with the instigation of those who were his co-religionists, but those who opposed his preaching and his faith. Whereas Muslims, of course, are on the other side of this, supporting and defending Jesus and defending the honor of his mother. There were some who regarded Jesus as having been born by illegitimate means, but the Quran says that those who say that are, casting a very great slander against Mary.
Condemns them.
Yeah. So the Quran is defending Mary and defending Jesus and so on. So we need to stress this, and the message that this holds needs to be broadcast to the nations. And of course, our Christian friends need to hear this.
In addition, Dr. Shabir, the ethics, right? We have common ethics. We have common religious obligations, like the 10 Commandments, right?
Exactly.
They're very common amongst Christians and Muslims.
That's right. That's right. Even, what our Christian friends regard as the Lord's Prayer, if a quick, close reflection will indicate that our opening chapter of the Quran, Surah al-Fatihah, is actually a mirror of the Lord's Prayer. And yes, you mentioned the ethics as well, apart from the 10 Commandments. Even looking at, the Muslim women's attention to covering themselves. The Bible says that women should not be with braided hair and so on, but they should be modest, and that modesty is practiced by Muslim women. Of course, from an American Christian woman's point of view, it may seem that Muslim women are slightly overdressed, but they can nevertheless appreciate that Muslim women are trying to do the same thing which the sacred scriptures have prescribed. And so we can see all of these commonalities, like the Bible it gives against drunkenness, and Muslims don't drink alcohol at all. Again, one might say, okay, Muslims have taken this to an extreme, but for Muslims, that extreme is necessary in order to even make it happen, because where do you draw the line, and how does a person stop him or herself. And of course, individuals may be strong, but what about the whole society? What do you prescribe for the whole society? And so, the Islamic communities have unfolded differently, but at the core, we are basically one. So we have to rise above the polemics of the past and the violence of the Crusader years and other violent moments that may be continuing even in our present time. And Muslims and Christians need to work together. Look, Muslims are about close to 2 million of the world's population. Christians are a little bit over 2 million. So together, 4 million people, this is half the world's population. Imagine if Muslims and Christians can work together. The great degree of change we can bring about, positive change
if they bring their values into action.
Exactly. We can, emphasize these values. Otherwise, we're all affected by the same negative things. The negativity and the pornography and so on that is there present in the world, the lewdness that is portrayed in Hollywood and Bollywood and so on. If Muslims and Christians can band together, we can produce our own films that, depict the ethical and moral values that we hold dear and so on. So much can be done. We can band together to obliterate poverty, to help the weak and oppressed people of the world, and so on. So we need to change our attitude, and Muslims themselves need to think better about the people of the book, because that's how the Quran regards them.
Very nobly, by the way.
Yes, exactly. And we need to have a better understanding of, the whole history of how people come to adopt various religions and how they stick to what they've adopted. And we need to have compassion and understanding for our fellow human beings.
Thank you, Dr. Shabir, for that.
You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Muslim Media Hub, the new home of Let the Quran Speak.
Here we spread positivity and good. We help people experience the beauty of Islam and help them appreciate and understand Muslims.
This beautiful building we purchased at cost $2.3 million.
Yeah, we've already raised a third of that money, and with your help, inshallah, we can pay off the rest.
So we're looking for people who can give $1,000 each. If you can be part of the select group, that's amazing.
Otherwise, just please give whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
It's our collective responsibility to share the message of Islam with our fellow human beings. Please help us continue this good work.
It's a sadaqah jariyah, something that will continue to be a benefit to the Muslim community long after Safiya and I are gone.
Please support our work at muslimmediahub.com.
Your support is zakat eligible and tax deductible.
May Allah bless you and your loved ones today and always. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.